Last video here is about plant growth and nutrition. And on this one, we just have a few things that we need to look at. First, we're going to start here and talk about how plants have to grow taller and wider, and you should know the difference between them. So you should recognize that primary growth is vertical and it's the apical meristem. Secondary growth is horizontal and the lateral meristem. So however you need to remember that, remember it. Primary, vertical, apical. Secondary goes with horizontal and lateral. So that's when our plants grow wider. Then we've got this part we need to know. We have to know for our test that our water moves through our xylem. Remember, this is our vascular system. From our vascular seedless plants, our gymnosperms and angiosperms have these. Water moves through the xylem. W, X goes together. Sugar moves through the phloem. That's all part of our vascular system. And this is where our vascular cambium comes into play. This is the part that's responsible for that secondary growth through the lateral meristems, or making our plant grow wider. And that vascular cambium is also responsible for making wood, because our xylem here that moves water is the wood of the plant that is made up actually of dead cells. So we got that, wood, dead, roots and shoots, vertical growth, got that. Okay, then this one is on there, these 3 bullet points, making sure that we recognize that when the wood is lighter and wider, it is from growth that occurred in spring and summer. But when we have thinner, darker bands, it was during winter and fall. And then we can also tell from wider bands and narrower bands if we had a wet or dry year. You have a question on your test about those. And then you have a question on your test about this and how bacteria are necessary for nitrogen in plants, because bacteria can take the nitrogen that's unusable by plants and convert it into a usable form. Plants can't do that, so they have this mutualistic relationship then with bacteria to get the nitrogen. And then on this one, we said stomata were the openings in the leaves that allowed for evaporation, and that evaporation combined with cohesion and tension allows the water to move through our xylem. Remember, WX, so water moves through the xylem. Those cells are dead, but the water still needs to move through it anyway, and it does that by evaporation and cohesion and tension, which allow the water to stick together and pull everything up to the surface. And then I missed something on our last slide, so I'm going to go back and add that to this video. Okay, this is what I missed. Our flowering plants, our angiosperms, have these parts. And there's this part here, that's the anther, that's where the pollen is. And then down here is the ovary, that's where the egg is in order to produce the seed. So I missed that one. And then I also missed this part of double fertilization, that we get 1 pollen and 1 egg, 1 sperm, so pollen, and 1 egg come together to make the baby plant, and then 1 pollen and 1 egg come together to make the endosperm. So that is double fertilization. So we've got making the endosperm, and making the baby plant through double fertilization. All right, I think that's it. That's the review for your test. Best of luck. Make sure you study, make flashcards, share your info with each other so you don't all have one thing to do, and let me know if you have any questions.